Hello and welcome to the Voice of Todd. I'm Tom, and in this video I'm going to go over my thoughts on Avatar, the 2009 movie that broke the box office until Avengers Endgame came out, and then Avatar was re-released so it could reclaim the top position, all because Avatar 2: The Way of Water had finally been made. Yeah. This movie was written and directed by James Cameron, the mastermind behind some of the greatest sci-fi movies ever made, as well as a good number of the highest grossing movies of all time. It seems like he knows how to get the masses into the cinema. The cast includes Sam Worthington as Jake Sully, Zoe Saldana as Neytiri, Sigourney Weaver as Dr. Grace Augustine, Stephen Lang as Colonel Quaritch, which is a name that I don't think we learn in the film, Michelle Rodriguez as Trudy Chacon, and Giovanni Ribisi as Peter Selfridge, the corpo head of the human organisation. IMDB synopsis, because we always do that in these as well. A paraplegic marine dispatched to the moon Pandora on a unique mission becomes torn between following his orders and protecting the world he feels is his home. That pretty much sums it up. Right, here we go. Now, I've seen this movie twice. First time when I bought the collector's edition Blu-ray on release day. It was £8 in Tesco, if I remember rightly. So I thought, why not? And then today, moments before I wrote this script. There is over 12 years between those watches. There's only one reason why I wanted to watch Avatar again, and it's because Avatar 2 has finally been made and released. As I say, I think hopefully next couple of days I will have seen Avatar 2 and be able to make up my thoughts on that movie for you. I say the only reason I rewatched the first is to remember what happened before the sequel. And I feel that you're going to hear that as I hate Avatar. I don't. There are some amazing things about this movie, which I'll go into in a moment, but after all the hype, the buzz of there being a 3D movie that actually looked good, and the box office success, I expected a lot from Avatar. Generally, didn't get that on my first viewing. It didn't really move the needle for me. Fast forward to 2022, and hopefully the point of this video, after rewatching Avatar 13 years after its initial release in cinemas, have I changed my mind? Now, don't get me wrong, Avatar is truly the greatest achievement of CGI. Even now, I think you could argue quite strongly that it rivals modern movies and games that have been released in 2022. It's a stunningly well-made presentation, or a proof of concept of what can be done given time, billions of dollars, and a passion for visual storytelling. The attention to detail in this movie is mind-blowing. The hair and wrinkles on the human faces, how the facial tics and eyes are animated, the lighting inside and outside in the wider world is all stunning. The level of detail in the explosions when the action kicks in, the splintering trees, it's clear that the animation studios who worked on this project took care with everything. This was probably a passion project for many of them. But how I see this movie, being a gamer at heart, is that it was the cinematic equivalent to an Unreal Engine real-time tech demo. This movie showcases the potential, the best technology available at the time in the cinematic field. And from that point, I can't argue with it. It really is a visual treat. A big part of this comes from the design and the concept for the humans. Their kind of tech is that perfect blend of near-future sci-fi that I personally love. Think Aliens Colonial Marines, think Halo, which borrowed from Aliens, and Titanfall, which probably borrowed from Avatar actually. I also quite like the audio in this movie, but it sounds quite generic. But it still works. Although some of the animals sounded like dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, so you see what I mean. It's presented really well, but it's not original. you can probably tell there's a theme going to start to crop up with this now. This movie is a feast for the eyes, and that's about it. Yes, the world is a fully fleshed out place with a balanced ecosystem that's shown off in the first hour or so of the movie, and the script constantly tells us this. When Sully and the Avatars finally touch down on the Pandoran wilds, it's almost like this was a David Attenborough documentary of an alien forest. All that's missing is his signature narration. There is a story in this movie somewhere. It's a story that we've all seen before, and it doesn't do anything to reinvent the wheel. But there were still some moments that I quite liked. I think all of them came in the first hour though, setting up the main characters. I like how we're introduced to Jake and Grace's characters. Sam Worthington does a very good job as Jake overall, but the true power of that character is how he's animated. The most powerful moment in this movie is when he takes control of his avatar and can walk again. That 3 or 4 minute sequence, that's the best this movie gets in terms of story, but it is wonderfully done. There are a few other elements of Jake's character that are used well too. When he's alone in the woods, using his survival skills and as an ex-army ranger, felt real and quite like his character. I also think that both Weaver and Lang give solid performances, as you'd expect from such talent. And I think Michelle Rodriguez does quite well with the little that she's given. But after what I think is a great hour of setup, we then meet Neytiri. And it turns into a total rip-off of Pocahontas, and it doesn't add anything new. I watched the extended director's cut, which has an extra 16 minutes, and despite its near 3-hour runtime, I actually think the pacing is quite good in this movie. It's just a very bland retelling of a tale that we've all heard as kids and adults in some form or another, time and time again. So, in closing, am I now an Avatar fan? No. The needle did not move after a second watch either. I appreciate what it does well, and I totally understand why it made so much money, but to me this isn't a movie. It's a tech demo. A very successful tech demo, but one that doesn't need a sequel, and I don't see a sequel doing well, let alone 4 more of them. So why do I want to see Avatar 2, I hear you say? Good question. It's not because of any love for the characters in this movie, or because I'm in any way interested in the story. It's because I want to see if, after 13 years, technology in CGI has moved on since Avatar. Maybe I'll be able to answer that question when I review the second one. If you enjoyed this review, please subscribe to The Voice of Todd. And why not check out Todd Plays Games, the home of all my Let's Play content. And let me know what you thought of Avatar in the comments below, if you remember watching it. As always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.